All right, Igor, things are pretty good for you right now. You were one of the players that everybody raved about after the NBA Combine in Chicago, and everyone came away very impressed. How do you feel you did in Chicago?
I think that I did pretty good, but obviously, I spent a lot of time before that getting ready and preparing myself, make sure that I'm performing on the best level I can. So for me, it was super important to be in a good shape to really show that I'm working out with a high intensity, right? And I just wanted to show them that I'm ready to work super hard.
Everyone talked about your improved shot. How much of a focus was your overall shooting heading into this process?
Almost everything is about shot, right? Whatever we work on, it's gonna end up with the shooting. Obviously, if it's either like whatever skills like dribbling or anything, we end up the movement with the shot anyway. So at this point, the shooting would be probably the biggest base for me on every workout every day, and that's something we're focusing on a lot. And as I said, I think I said it on the previous interview, the one we did a little earlier. Um, that was my goal to really prove people wrong a little bit and let them know that I'm a good shooter.
Did you change anything with the mechanics? I mean, what did you do specifically to work on that?
No, nothing like crazy mechanic wise, just some little details. Paying attention to little things that I don't that is hard to kind of see by myself, right? So that's why I have a big team over here who's helping me. Zach Gonzalez, my trainer, and he's people who's helping us uh to kind of see everything, to notice everything, right? Because sometimes it's just hard for myself, really like put everything together without seeing the video of me shooting or people having people around who's seeing myself. And yeah, it's just a group effort that kind of bring me to these little details that matters.
From a feedback standpoint, what did the NBA people that you talked to, what was the feedback that you got from them?
Well, the intensity, they really the coaches that were with us on the court while the shooting drills and all these kind of things on the floor. uh, they really told me about how hard they see me working, which was my goal, as I already said, as really to show them that, hey, I'm here not to, just hang out or whatever. I wanna work out, and I want to take this not just to show up, but also to take benefits from it for myself. And I really appreciated them for noticing that.
How much do you feel what you did in Chicago, and now the individual workouts have begun? How much do you feel you have improved your draft stock in just a short period of time?
Well, it's hard to tell, for me exactly, and it's not something that I'm trying to focus on as much. I think we don't know how it all works inside, right? The teams, and obviously they have their own thoughts about everything. But I think that now, with showing up on the pro day, how good of a shooter I can be, and showing them my effort, I think every team gonna think twice before drafting somebody else before me.
I don't know how, I know it's always been a dream of yours to be in the NBA, but like for me, the NBA draft, I've always loved it. I can't get enough of the NBA draft. I follow it. I'm looking at all of the mock drafts. You kind of touched on it a little bit that you can't really control it, but how aware are you of where everybody has you going and this mock draft has you going here and this one has you going to this team? How closely do you follow that, if at all?
Well, I think I'm on a stage of time where it's not really about mock drafts anymore. It's about actual communication with teams and really seeing who's interested and who's not at all, right? And here I'm really trying to see this gap on the draft where, okay, this is where I'm gonna go work out, right? And choose the places, choose the time, and you know all these kind of things. So at this point, mock drafts, I don't think there matters a lot in this environment right now.
Right. What teams have shown the most interest in you so far?
Well, we're in contact with almost every team in the lottery and outside of the lottery. I'm lucky to have a lot of interest around all of these teams, and it's almost like, well, like guys, I didn't even expect to have that much of attention, right? And everybody want me to kind of come for workouts and to speak with me. And for me, obviously, it's a blessing to be in this type of situation, right? To have a chance to talk to the gen managers, talk to the head coaches, and it's just amazing.
I've always said that beyond anything that you have done on the floor at BYU or in any previous stop or even in the workouts, I always said that when general managers or people within organizations in the NBA get a chance to sit down and talk with you and get to know you as a person, that that's really going to be something that can separate you from other people. How much have you enjoyed that process on just sitting down and having these teams get to know you on a personal level?
That's probably the most interesting part for me personally. As you said, I think that's where I have skills to really be on a high level of communication with those like a big people from NBA, right? When they trying to trick me like with some questions and ask me something and then see how I'm reacting, and I actually know what it's for because I kind of
Yeah.
know what it's how it works now. And then it's almost like for me, I think I'm also like I'm not the shy person, so I'm really trying to evaluate them too. The people were joking. Some of the teams were joking. It was looking our meetings with them was looking like I was interviewing them, and that's my goal to like I wanna know more about those teams too. It's not like I'm trying to look smart or whatever it is, right? It just comes from my own interest of knowing what is going on, right? And this is a really fun part of this process, just those little interviews and talking with people and you know having a big conversation about anything, not just basketball but life.
Well, and you got to think about it, Yegor, too. I mean, if wherever you go, the hope is that you're successful and you're there for a long time. So it's not just where you're going to play basketball, it's where you're going to live and everything.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. So they were a little surprised when you started turning the tables on them a little bit, asking them questions.
Yeah, some of the teams were, I was expecting them to ask something and they would ask exactly how I thought is going to happen, and now I'm like, well, I'm pretty well prepared for you guys. You're not
How
going to
many
trick me.
how many teams
Yeah.
have you worked out with so far, and how many more do you expect over the next 3 weeks before the draft?
I didn't do much yet, and we're still planning how it's going to look like schedule wise, right? And time wise, kind of before the draft, how many is going to be and when and in what format. Obviously, it could be, one on O or competing workouts. So it's pretty much, loose at the moment.
What is home base for you right now? Are you in LA and that's kind of where you're training
Yes,
and everything? Is
yes,
that's where you are?
yes, in LA.
Okay, so give me an idea, at least right now, what an average day is like. What goes into a day for you as you're preparing for this upcoming NBA draft?
Well, it's pretty much like it was a couple of weeks ago when we talked for the first time, at the time when I was in LA. So I'm waking up, having my little routine in the morning, uh, get some food, breakfast, whatever, get to work out at 7:30 on court. After this, I would go grab another bigger breakfast, like the actual breakfast, take a little nap, go lift. After lift, I would get some snack, some acai bowl or something like this. LA is a great place to find food over here, so I don't have a
You got a
problem
lot
with
of
that.
options, Yegor.
Exactly, exactly. And after that, I would come back to on the court again, have another workout, and have a little bit more time in the afternoon. I would say at night to kind of get more rest, and I would go to sleep around maybe like 9:30, 10, so I can get as much rest as possible.
That's what we like to hear. You got to get that sleep. That's super important. And
Exactly.
So maybe not a specific team name, but what type of team and situation do you feel would be best for you to go to?
I think a growing up programs that are kind of trying to maybe rebuild something
Mhm.
and need like versatility, right, in their team, which I can give them, right. And on all these interviews with teams, I'm kind of speaking about I'm a point guard, but I also can be used anywhere you want me to be, right. So I'm ready to explore. I'm ready to explore in the court. I'm ready to adjust myself and the type of player I am to be as effective as I can be for the team, right? So um, I think I can bring a lot of thinking into the team and a lot of or organizing the team, right, to be a better kind of offense and defense in case of really understanding what we're doing everything for. So that's kind of the wise idea. I don't know
Right.
if I actually answered the question or no, but that's pretty much our you know the little bullet points that we're looking for in the team's need.
So you're not coming into this situation saying, I'm a point guard and I'm only a point guard. You're willing to be able to play off the ball and do whatever these teams are asking you to do then.
100%. I'm seeing myself in the future playing 1 through 5, if needed, and either is offense or defense. Probably especially defense, right, where I can be switching with anybody and not have a problem with uh, um, matchups that I get, right. So at this point, people are like asking me where do you think you fit the best. For me, I can fit anywhere, and it's not coming from like arrogance, right,
Right.
and like me being like, well, I'm the best. It comes from the point that I want to learn to be anything you need me to be.
You mentioned earlier the team that you've got around you right now, but Yegor, you've been blessed to be able to learn a lot from people who have been through this process before. What advice have you received from people like Coach Young, Travis Hansen, and others about what teams want to see and how to handle this process? How much have you been able to lean on those people?
you know um like probably the biggest advice that I've got from different people, actually from both of KY and Travis. It's a little bit more of a general picture advice, not like, okay, do this when you get to the team, right. They said, enjoy the process. That you're getting drafted once, and that's you got to enjoy this moment, right, and they enjoy the process before it, right, and all this kind of like to live through all this workouts, meetings, and all that, and kind of enjoy this moment, right, because it's probably never going to happen again. So but obviously getting on the workouts, the advice is just be ready mentally. These teams are trying to break you and see how you respond mentally. I think it's not as much of a skill evaluating, right? So they already know me as a player. They know how I'm playing, they know what I can do. And I don't think there's too many things that I can show them that they didn't know. But they want to see how strong I am over here, right? Being under the big pressure with all the people from the organization around the court, right? Looking at me. And it's hard to just be there, just being like, well, that's NBA, like that's right here, right. For me, it's even more, right, because that was a dream I was living with since the moment I started playing basketball, right. So I think the biggest advice, you know actually to perform better is just be focused, be don't worry about things too much, don't overthink, don't think about future. And for me, just it's a big part of what I'm doing is just to be able to stay present.
I don't think I need to tell you how happy and proud BYU fans are of you and what you're doing. I'm sure anytime something's put on social media, BYU fans immediately rush to it and they want to promote it and talk about how excited they are. I'm sure you still feel that out there right now, don't you?
I definitely do. I definitely do. That's a crazy thing to think of. it's a big pleasure and big honor for me to, even though I'm not there anymore, I'm not on the campus, I'm not around the annex or Mary Center, but people are still supporting me, right? And I'm still feeling BYU like next to me, and it's gonna be, uh, a long-term friendship, right? Long-term relationships with this place. So that's amazing for me. It's a big pleasure to be able to make fans happy, seeing me over here.
Well, Yegor, we appreciate the time as always. I know the next couple of weeks, as you mentioned, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun as well as you continue to live out your dream. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes, and really do appreciate it. And good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.